Hi, Erin.
Terry, hello.
It's so nice to have you
Oh
here.
my goodness, it's so wonderful to see you.
I'm thrilled and honored for you to be here today to talk about the mother and son relationship. So maybe share how we know each other.
Shall I begin?
Yes.
Terry and I were both living in San Francisco, and I found her yoga class in Nob Hill, and that's where our relationship began. Our friendship began in a tiny little room at the top of a health club where our yoga mats were maybe 3 inches apart.
So intimate. Big sunny windows,
Yeah, yeah.
weekly for
Sunday
years,
mornings, right?
mornings for
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super. It's super. And I'm so glad that you're here and you're living now presently in.
I'm in Chicago where I had lived before. I lived in San Francisco. I came back. I came back to my home here,
Okay.
and I feel very much like this is my home.
Okay, great. And your son's name is?
Lucas.
Lucas. Okay, will you tell us about you and Lucas?
Well, I was a single mother from the beginning, and Lucas was born when I was 29. And he was born in Houston, Texas. We actually, when he was very small, moved back to my hometown in Mississippi, and lived there until the summer after Lucas's freshman year of high school when we moved to Chicago, actually Evanston, Illinois, just west of Chicago. Um, and he went off to college and eventually lived in New York for a while, lived in Chicago for a while, but lived in New York, and then moved to Portland. And I sadly lost him to suicide when he was 29. So he's been gone about 9.5 years.
9.5 years. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, great. And what is your relationship like today?
Um, I've thought about it and had this conversation with others, and my son and I were very, very close. Um, and of course, I have so many memories of the things that he loved and that we did together, and of the years that he was on Earth. But I believe that now our relationship is a spiritual relationship, and some of
Mhm.
that has to do with memory, but some of it is different from that and kind of mysterious, kind of hard to describe. But one way I think it manifests itself is I will often think, oh, I wish Lucas could taste this. I wish he knew that I had learned how to make these muffins really well. Or, oh, he would love this movie. He would love this song. Um, and there's certain memories that I must say that are overwhelmingly beautiful. And they literally affect, get into my soul or come out of my soul. So it's a very hard question to answer, but the sense I have is the relationship is spiritual,
Mhm.
and what all that means, whatever that means.
Mhm. Mhm. How does your heart feel today?
Um, you know, I think of my son every day, but at the same time, from the moment I knew I had lost him, I had such a sense of I've got to live. I want to live. And it made me realize I'm strong and could do that. And in many ways, I've thrived, and not the way I wouldn't have wanted under these circumstances. But, um, I realized we are individuals. And even though he was the most important person in my life and probably still is in many ways, um, that, that he was an individual, I'm an individual, and my life needs to go on. I have been given life. And um, so I've tried to involve myself in activities, learn new things. Um, my focus right now, and it's not always easy, is I feel like it's so important with whatever years I have left in my own life is to practice kindness. every day we can go out and be kind. And it's so needed right now. And it means everybody needs that. So that's something I can control, and I can be kind and thoughtful. So life is very good in many ways, and I'm very lucky in many ways.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you have a story to tell us.
I do.
So excited and honored that you would want to share this with us. And some photos, if they're appropriate, along the way or afterward, that you
Well,
share.
Right after the story, if that works for you, and you
Absolutely.
tell me. So one of the things that I've become involved in here in Chicago is a program that's sponsored by the Goodman Theater called Generations, and it's for adults 55 and over. It's a storytelling community. Several times a year, we meet and, based on a current production, write a story on a theme that's drawn from that production. So several years ago, in the winter of 1999, and I'm sorry, 2019 and 2020, we had a theme that was stories of extravagance. And it was actually based on a play called about Sarah Bernhardt, so Bernhardt Hamlet. And that was the theme they drew from that. So I decided to write this story called The $25 Jacket. Our new life in Illinois had just begun. The apartment in South Evanston right away had several obvious advantages. Big rooms with a sun porch for the cats. The beach a few blocks away. There was a Dominic's grocery right across the street. And just around the corner, a Goodwill thrift store. Rummage sales and secondhand shops had always been my secret weapons to make ends meet. The first great find, an LL Bean leather bomber jacket in good condition, $25. It fit my tall, brown-eyed boy perfectly. Jack and Steve said I looked like Jerry Seinfeld in it, Mom. Very 90s. This was 2002. Lucas wore that jacket for the next 15 years in Chicago, Ann Arbor, New York, and Portland, where he ultimately landed. It was on his back when he sang, operated lights, rehearsed a play, rode the L, the Q train, the Max, walked the city streets, or drank cheap beer with his friends. It acquired experience and character at the same time he did, and an ink stain from one of his drawing pens. The Dominic's and Goodwill store are long gone, replaced by condos and a pie cafe. Lucas is gone too, almost 4 years now. How I wish I could tell you by gone, I mean moved away. Valentine's weekend of 2016, my sister and I took our hearts to Portland to finish the arrangements and gather Lucas's things. The smoke from the fire pit he had helped build filled the cold air outside the big house in the Raleigh Hills where Lucas had lived with several roommates and a landlord, Eric, who was part of the gang. Eric had organized Lucas's belongings so my sister and I could go through them and decide what to keep and what to give away. Eric brought out one last thing, the worn leather jacket with a piece of green duct tape stuck to the sleeve with a message handwritten in permanent marker. For my mom, keep her for certain. Back in San Francisco where I lived then, the jacket hung in the closet. I couldn't wear it, but I wouldn't get rid of it. That wouldn't honor the cow that provided the leather, and it certainly wouldn't honor my son, who had become a vegan in his last years and inspired me to give up eating meat as well. A year passed, and I still didn't know what I would do with the jacket. Then I had an idea. Could I have it remade to fit me? I visited Fog City Leather, located appropriately in the neighborhood known as Cow Hollow. I didn't know if they'd be willing or able to take on my project, but I told the owners, Jack and Scott, my story, and they said yes. I tried on several styles from the rack and selected a design. At a very old fabric store in Union Square, I picked out a lovely artichoke green crushed silk for the new lining. Between the cost of the fabric and the cost of the new jacket, my original $25 investment was now approaching $1,000. But some things remained the same. We agreed we wouldn't clean the leather excessively or dye it so it would look like it looked when Lucas wore it. You would still see the ink stain, the marks where the old pockets were removed, the evidence of experience. And in the lining, over my heart, Lucas's note in his handwriting, digitally embroidered, "For my mom." Ming, the seamstress, did her work, and a few weeks later I picked up the beautiful coat. It's very heavy, which somehow adds to the weight, the symbolism of it. Not a burden, but important and present. Some objects are very significant, and garments can be particularly. They are worth and worthy of care and consideration in respect of those who left them behind, of the memories that remain. Lucas knew I was, and I still am, rather obsessed with a particular bass aria in the final act of the opera La Boheme. Colline, the philosopher, makes plans to sell his beloved coat, bids it farewell like a friend to buy medicine for the dying Mimi, an extravagant, futile gesture, but a loving impulse. I bid my beloved son farewell, but I keep the jacket, and it keeps me warm when the days grow cold. The trees on our old block are dressed in silver, and the air is filled with the scent of fruit and cream and sugar pies and something else I can't explain. I have Lucas's words and the memory of his voice, his song, so close. It seems sometimes he's tapping me on the shoulder, asking for his coat back. Extravagant, futile, love, love, love.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Beautiful. And you have a picture of Lucas in the coat
Yeah.
to share, which I just adore.
Let me zoom it in a little so when I hold it up, you can really see it well.
Right. So
Yeah.
grateful.
Tell me.
Yes, Lucas.
Yeah, there
Fantastic. For my mom.
and he was actually backstage at the little theater that he was involved with in Portland, Oregon,
Okay.
probably running lights that night.
Fantastic. And then you have the little handwritten.
Yeah, so this is the actual, this is the lining. Can you
For my mom. Oh, yeah. So, oh, thank you. That is so dear.
I even got the period because he put
You
a
put period?
even
Oh, okay.
period. So,
Fantastic. Specific. So you said something about even though it was heavy. I wonder, would you share what is it like when you wear it now?
well, it's very profound, you know, and sure enough, I mean, you can see that ink stain and um you know, the hardness and heaviness of it is just, you know, you feel that. Um so it's very special, and it's just very meaningful.
You feel him?
You know, I feel him under others, you know, a lot. And another story I haven't shared with you, but I'd love to quickly tell you
Please.
is he had Lucas developed a wonderful taste in music. I mean, we're both very interested in music. We were both singers, and he was we've both were in choirs, and but he had really good taste, and sort of even turned me on to some genres that I had not really been into that much. But I was watching a television series online, and I was watching an episode one evening, and one of the characters started to sing, and it was bluegrass tune, and that was one of the genres that Lucas really got into and kind of raised my interest in. And I was sitting there, and I felt his presence so strongly that I actually took the computer and turned it so he could see it. Yeah, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow. So
Yeah. Forever with you.
yeah, I would say that there are certain things that really I feel his presence very strongly, and whatever that means. I mean, it's not necessarily a physical presence, but just his spirit, or his memory.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so there's an idea that I share often with the sons that I speak to on this channel about I don't have the quote right here with me, but just what's it like to be, basically grow in your mother's body,
Oh, wow.
be born a man or a masculine, and mostly have, most people have mostly a feminine mother, surrounding environment. And then what is it like to claim or be, yourself as man? And I don't know, do you have any thoughts about that?
I was thinking today about the sad thing that in the world there are places where women are very oppressed by men. It's
Oppressed.
oppressed, and certain uh, societies
Mhm.
where women are not only oppressed but abused. And I thought, don't they realize that they're here because of a woman? Each and every one of any man that engages in that
Mm.
may not realize that he would not be here if it weren't for someone who gave birth to him, a woman
Yeah.
who gave birth to him.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I was just thinking about that today because I was reading an article about the a particular country that is, you know, a group that has been accused of abusing
Mhm.
women in their society.
Yeah. That
Um,
is an interesting angle for you to think of. And then what would be your thoughts about that um what a mother, if you will, how what her feelings, thoughts, beliefs about men and maleness are contributing to the type of man that our son would become. Do you have any thoughts about that idea?
well, I mean, that is so important to to write. I mean, to have some strong and stable beliefs about that. I think in order to raise a healthy individual, it's not everything. I mean, I think you can do everything right, and things can still go wrong. Or there are people who are have turned out great and they had terrible parents, or they did not have good mothering, or for that matter, good fathering.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, it was, I would say, I wanted my son to learn as many skills as he could to be as independent as possible, but um, also to be good and kind, and that was really the most important thing. And one of the things I was very, very proud of is he always placed great importance on his friendships. He did not take them lightly, and um, but I sort of think that was something he figured out himself. I mean, what is so amazing to me often is um, people in general, but children will figure things out themselves.
So adaptable.
Yeah,
It's just
and
so.
very important to set a good example, but then they are also autonomous, and kind of can take it from there.
Yes, quite capable. Yes, yes. Interesting. Thank you for your thoughts. So you have a poem, I think, that you wrote. Tell us about that. And
Is this the one? Let me get my screen up again.
it's Repair, I think, the one you
Yeah.
shared.
So This is a poem that I wrote. I was actually on the bus and I was passing by the place that is my son's final resting place, which is a historic cemetery called Graceland Cemetery. It's also an arboretum. It's a beautiful
Mm.
place on the north side of Chicago. Lately, it's been known for having a large population of coyotes.
Ooh.
They actually have asked people not to walk their dogs there because
Okay.
dangerous. But it is very beautiful and very peaceful. It's also right by the L tracks and by the oasis of Edgewater. So it's kind of a serene place, but very much in an urban setting. So the poem Repair was my thoughts about imagining what a soul residing there, and particularly my son's soul residing there, would be experiencing. And I use the word repair in the old sense. It's an old fashioned definition, which means to go to a place, especially in company. Um, so to repair to a place or to a person. Repair for Lucas. If the souls do come out and dance at night, may you call the tune to the creatures that live in the dark. Let them set the cadence of each step with their sweet scurryings and keep time with the wind and the rain. Choose for your partner the shining moon who waits for you across the room of infinite stars. When the dawn breaks, clear the floor, say good morning to the trees, the sleepy chaperones, and greet your neighbors, the man who loves baseball, the woman who misses her home by the river. While the trains clatter about their daylight business and the towers turn their eyes on the reeling lake, rest easy to the earth's good rhythm.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. I love all those words and picturing you on the bus going by Graceland, feeling, your son.
You never know when inspiration will strike. And
Exactly.
poetry's been a real gift to me. That's
Mm.
writing poetry a lot the last few years, and that's something I'm very grateful for.
Yes. Well, as we kind of come to a close, I just wonder if there's anything that you would like to share about your relationship, two other mothers of sons, two sons.
I just am struck by the young people I meet now and how smart and aware and capable they are. Um, and I think my son would have liked meeting them, and they would have liked to meet my son. So I'm grateful for all the people in my life. I'm grateful for the people that have been in my life and who are perhaps no longer with me, and particularly for having my son in my life.
Absolutely. And there was a piece that you shared to me about dreams that might be nice for people to get, that you mentioned to me about everyone has to let go of.
Yeah. So yeah, I was reading the page "Humans of New York," and which features an individual talking about something aspect of their lives. And so this again, a very young woman who just I was so struck by her maturity. Was talking about the goals she had had in life, and that she thought she was just moving ahead and everything was going to fall into place, and she ended up being disappointed and not realizing this big goal. And she realized that everybody goes through that you um, everybody has to face a dream not coming true or a dream coming to an end. And so, like, for instance, my dream coming to an end was, for example, having my son with me at all, forever. Um, and I just thought that was so profound, and um, it just meant a lot to me in the timing. I mean, I saw it today, right before we recorded this. So I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. There are things we go through we certainly didn't plan on. We didn't plan on our lives going in this direction. We had, probably had an idea of what our lives would be like. But you have to accept that. And I just think it is so important to find joy every day.
I love that.
We have the, you know, because we are alive. We're alive on this earth, and we should, I think, as much as possible, flourish and live abundantly.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Oh, this,
Me to have you here.
well, I appreciate having the chance to speak.
Absolutely. So great. Bye for now.
Okay, bye bye.